Start. Let us start today's class with a 30-second meditation. So what you have to do, take off your specs, close your eyes, everybody close your eyes, fold your hands, concentrate on Almighty God and express your thanks and gratitude for everything you have got in life. Take your parents' blessings by touching their feet mentally. Feel that all positive energy entering your mind, you becoming stronger. Whatever you discussed today, we shall remember forever. Rub your hands, touch your eyeballs, touch your cheeks and open with a gentle smile. So that was a 30-second meditation. You should cover everyone, you are only covering me. So this is a 30-second meditation. It helps to concentrate more, and remember this type of meditation has got no connection with any particular religion. It is at the top because I have asked you to concentrate on the Almighty God, the superpower, the most important power. With that superpower, the sun rises, sun sets, all of us are here and we are living here, we are getting food from the nature, everything. So I have asked you to concentrate to the nature and to express your thanks and gratitude for everything you have got in life. Because up to now, whatever you have got in life, you have to be thankful to someone who has given you. And I have asked you to take the blessings of your parents by touching their feet mentally. Parents are the greatest gods and goddesses in your life. So I have asked you to take blessings of your parents. Your parents are not here, but you take their blessings by touching their feet mentally. Mentally you think of your mother and father and take blessings, touch their feet. Because parents are the greatest source of inspiration. Parents are the greatest source of energy, power, everything. And we all are here because of our parents, remember. So you have to worship your parents, take care of your parents, everybody. And you have to promise that you have to remember whatever we discussed today. Whatever we are discussing, we shall remember. Take everybody cover, try to cover everybody. So let us start a very new chapter today. See, I am starting in a different style. You shall understand what topic I am doing. There are two types of taxes. One is direct tax and other is indirect tax. I have already explained. I told you that direct tax, in case of direct tax, incidence and impact on the same person. I told you. Incidence is on the person who initially pays the tax to the government, and impact is on the person who ultimately bears the burden. In case of direct tax, incidence and impact on the same person. But in case of indirect tax, incident and impact are two different persons. Like income tax is direct tax. You pay and you bear the burden. But say GST, sales tax, this is indirect. You pay the tax, some other person will be bearing the burden. Businessman pays the tax, but businessman collects it from the customers. So businessman does not bear the burden. Burden is borne by some other person. In case of indirect tax, burden can be shifted. In case of direct tax, burden is not shifted. So this you know. Now today we shall not talk about direct tax. We shall not talk about income tax today. Today's class I will take indirect taxes. Earlier in India, there were 17-18 types of indirect taxes. Different types of indirect: sales tax, VAT, excise duty, octroi duty, import duty, export duty, custom duty. Lots of different types of indirect taxes were there in India. Then on 1st of July 2017, GST Act was passed. In 1st of July 2017, July 1, GST Act was passed by the Government of India, and GST is in force in India now from 1st July 2027. So after GST has been introduced in India, Many taxes which were earlier, they are not there now. One or two taxes are there still, but most of the taxes have gone. No other taxes are there except one or two. Little VAT is there, some excess, little bit is there, but mostly taxes are not there, indirect taxes are not there. Everything has been subsumed in GST. Today our chapter is GST. I will talk different things about GST today and give you homework. First of all, remember GST came on 1st July 2017, but it started the process in India 17 years back. Remember, many people think that GST came in India in 2017, but that much only. But actually journey started in 2000, in the year 2000. In the year 2000, there was a great Prime Minister who was respected by political parties of all the political parties, such a Prime Minister. His name was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. Atal Bihari was the Prime Minister, highly talented, visionary. He was a poet also, you may know. He thought that GST should be introduced in India. He thought. He has introduced one more point in India. You are commerce students, accountancy student, you must have learned buyback of shares. A company can buy its own shares back. You may get buyback of shares. He brought the idea from USA, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. It is Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the background story. He brought it from USA. Earlier, a company cannot buy its own shares. A company can buy other company shares, but not own shares, own company share. But now, company can buy its own shares in India also. This is known as buyback of shares. And he introduced. He went to America and he saw it is there, and he brought the idea, and he gave the idea to Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and ultimately Companies Act 1956 at that time was amended, and buyback of share was introduced in India. Then in 2013, Companies Act has been again, new Companies Act is there, Companies Act 2013, but buyback of share is there. Why I am telling? It is Atal Bihari Vajpayee who introduced it. Similarly, GST also, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he studied other countries, and so GST is in there in other countries. Then he invited Finance Minister of West Bengal, his name was, he is a very learned person, Osim Dasgupta. He asked him, Osim Dasgupta, Mr. Dasgupta, you do one thing, you study the GST of different countries and suggest me, can I introduce in India this one? Then Osim Dasgupta studied and all, he said, yes, you can do. But ultimately it was not done because the other political parties opposed. Then again in 2006, 7, 9, all these years now, people started, political parties started, government started to introduce GST, but it was not done. Always opposition parties were in opposing. Ultimately, whatever opposition party, whoever, there is a problem. But ultimately, when this government, BJP came in 2014, then they immediately started. Before that Congress was there, they also started for introducing GST, but it was not there. Then in 2014, when Modi Sarkar came, he started, yes, GST should be introduced. Why? Because it's a very good system of taxation, indirect taxation, very good system. How good? I will be explaining you. So from 2014 only the process started. Ultimately 2017 GST is introduced and other taxes have gone, other indirect taxes have gone. Now regarding this, I will not make this video too long, I will make some other video, but now I will tell very few important things which you will be finding very interesting, that GST was first introduced in France in 1954. You will be getting the video, no need to write. You will get, GST was introduced in France first time. You may remember general knowledge. In France, GST was introduced in 1954. Then in 2017, when GST was introduced in India, before that, before India accepted, 160 means 160 countries had already accepted GST. Before India, 160 countries had already accepted GST. Think. That means something is good there. And I have studied GST of different countries. I have not found any country which after introducing they have abolished. No country. There is no country which introduced GST then abolished. No. Anybody introduced GST is there. But in every country, most of the countries, when GST was introduced, there was lots of problems, lots of oppositions, lots of disturbances. Why GST? Also resistance. GST should not be there, GST should not be there. Ultimately, everybody accepted. Sri Lanka took 26 years to introduce GST. India took 17 years because India started the process in 2000 and ultimately it was in 2017. So 17 years. Anybody ask you how many years India took to introduce GST? We say 17 years. And there may be a question, write history of GST in India. Then write the history from 2000. Just write the history from 2000. I'll give you the details. Now I'm just touching. And India, there are two types of government, One is central government, other is state government. Central government, state government. Two types of GST, two types of governments are there. India is a federal system of democracy. And India has accepted the GST of Canada model of Canada government, Canadian government. They are also same way. And in India, there are two types of GST, two types of government, and the GST is equally shared by two types of government. I am telling you that, and then I close this video. One more concept, 1 minute. In India, the GST which the central government takes is known as CGST, means central GST. The portion which state government takes is SGST, means state GST. But there are some union territories, Andaman, Nicobar, like that, union territories. So in case of union territories, GST is known as UTGST. UTGST means Union Territory GST. You have got three types of GST: CGST, SGST, UTGST, and one more. When goods are sold in other states, then it is IGST. This goes to central government. When goods are sold in other state, if goods are sold in same state, then this is divided into two parts. One is state government, one is central government. If goods are sold in Union Territory, two parts. One is Union Territory, other is central government. But when goods are sold in some other state, suppose goods of Assam sold in West Bengal, goods of West Bengal sold in Kerala, goods of Kerala sold in Maharashtra, this way, the IGST, integrated GST. So how many parts of GSTs are there this way? 4. CGST means central GST, SGST means state GST, UTGST means, and IGST means integrated GST. Integrated GST. So many types of GST. I'll be explaining everything to you. I'll be explaining and making you clear all these points. So you remember that there are so many types of GST. I have explained how GST came in small video. I'll again take up many other points are there to teach you. Many points are there. I'll teach you, and you shall learn it. I'll teach you practical also. Whenever you purchase something from any mall or any big shop, then you get a voucher, right? Cash memo. You see 9% CGST, 9% SGST, like these types of things are given. And by the way, remember what is the rate of GST? Goods have been divided, goods and services, remember. GST means goods and services tax, both. And the rates are, you see, goods and services put together, but rates, a group of goods and services where no GST is 0%. So 0%, then 5%, then 12%, then 18% and 28%. 0%, 0%, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. So there are 5 percentages, 5 rates. 0% means no GST. In certain goods it is 5%, 5%. In certain other goods it is 12%. In certain other goods 18%. Certain other goods in 28%. So different rates are there. Different types of rates of GST is there. These things you are going to learn, and from now when you purchase something from any shop, you take the voucher and see GST is written there. So with this, this is an introductory class of GST. I'll take up more after in the next video. So you study this, listen to the video, subscribe the channel definitely, okay, because I'll make different types of videos. This will be helping you, not only academic. I make videos on say exercise, music, I make videos on motivational lecture, I make videos on accountancy, management, finance, taxation, many other things. So when you subscribe, whatever comes to you, you find it, if it is relevant to you, you click it and watch it. Not relevant, then avoid it, like that. So thank you, all the best. Thank you.